If the first game of breaks no get you know let us put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, do the games after this win in. First year again, we're here for the first May. Carry body, keep it up 6 minutes.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
We've got to raise the bar, and we've got to continue to raise the bar. I don't think any of those young men, when they signed to come to Tennessee, they signed to say they wanted to come and be a part of a 7-6 program. They said they wanted to come and compete for championships, SEC championships, national championships. I know that's what I want. I know that's what Tennessee wants. I know that's what the expectation is. So we've got to continue to reassess everything that we're doing and make sure that we're continuing to move the needle in the right direction.
If you're not of the mindset going into this thing, anyone, anywhere, anytime, then you're just there to have a cup of coffee anyway. So this is a highly competitive group. We'll play where we play. We'll play who we play, and let's go put the ball down.
Me! Woo! My God! Gene! Who got my back? I got your back. Who got my back? I got your back. Who got my back? I got your back. We play for another. We fight for another. Every fight, every play, every round. Hey, Tennessee on 2. 1, 2. Tennessee. Ball, that team ready. Ready. Ball, that team ready. Ready. Ball, that team ready.
But you know what? Let's talk a little Vols. That is not a. That is not me trying to take any shine away from the phenomenal channel Talking Vols that my guy Boogie Bentley runs, so shout out to them. But let's talk a little Vols here. Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley. The boys are here. Some of the boys are more excited than others. Some of the boys are so excited they unmute themselves during the intro to say, let's get the party started. Man, some of us are excited and ready to go. We got chaos, boys. We got chaos. You know what? We were laughing in the back room right before we went live. It's kind of funny. Oh, it's cut and dry. This is it. Ohio State. Tennessee's going on the road to play Ohio State. Then you got other people saying, oh, it's cut and dry, Boogie. We're going on the road to play Penn State. Other people are saying, oh, we're hosting a college football playoff game. Coach Jay, do you trust this committee to get it right? By the way, we got 400 people, and all 400 snuck in the back room. Every single person snuck in the back door. Nobody paid the doorman. We got to get it right. Smash the thumbs up, shout the link. Coach Jay, are they going to get it right? Are they going to get it right?
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Let me get it right.
You want to explain what happened in the back room when it was just you and I having a
conversation? Boogie was muted in the background, you guys. It wasn't me for once. No, I don't trust this committee, man. I wouldn't trust this committee with a potato gun, like let alone these young men's seasons. It's they have a decision to make today. We're going to get into it, to punish or not to punish, right? And there's a clear line in the sand, in my opinion, with Alabama and SMU. Are we going to punish SMU for losing a field goal game in the waning seconds? Because if we do decide to punish them, then we need to punish the other teams that lost.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to have it both ways. But my fear, what I know is going to happen, is they're going to want it both ways. They're going to have it both ways. They're going to speak out of both sides of their mouth. And that usually goes how Tennessee fans think it will go.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you look at last year. They got it wrong last year.
Yeah.
And I don't see them improving. They've just added more teams to convolute and bring more confusion to an already flawed system. It's brand name and the brand and name recognition. They say eyeball test, this and that. Are they actually looking at wins and losses and common opponents and all of that, or is it just who is it? And I think it's going to be
brand recognition. That should mean absolutely nothing in the conversation. It should mean nothing.
Or history.
Yeah,
it's this season, and look at the results on the field. But man, I don't think that's what's going to happen. And I think we are going to go on the road somewhere. I think we're going to stay put. And the teams that played yesterday, they may flip-flop around a little bit, but we'll be right where we are. And I think we are going to Penn State or Ohio State.
Mm-hmm. Joey Carroll said we need 16 teams. The problem with 16 teams, guess what? That 17th team going to be complaining because I think there are so many things that are broken. But let me catch up with you guys dropping some super chats. I ranted about door fees. Y'all are paying the door fees, and I appreciate it. Michael Holt for 2 says door fee paid. Shout out, Michael. We appreciate you. Todd Landers for 2 says door fee. Thank you, Todd. Dang, I can't read. I can't talk. It's too early. Michael nicely drops the orange boy. We like orange boys around here because they're orange and we play the clip.
Rocky Top!
Michael nicely for 20. We appreciate you, brother. Says playoff door fees are higher. Thank you, Michael. Very generous super chat. And Backflip Spaghetti says, I'll see your generous door fee. We'll play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Back split. Look. Apparently I cannot stream in the morning. Backflip. I sound like Coach Rice. On the Wednesday night show. Poor guy couldn't put his sentence together, and now it's bleeding over to me. Backflip Spaghetti for a hundo. We appreciate that, brother. We are hosting Penn State GBO and let the Dubs come. A lot of people are believing that. Sean Cross drops orange boy. We'll do it.
Rocky Top!
Sean says, let's go, boys. Vols at home versus Penn State. More love for that. Man, sign me up. Sign me up for that matchup. Expired meat says GBO. That's a 20 spot.
Rocky Top!
Larry Amerson for 2. Appreciate the super chat. Maybe I need to yell at you all more frequently for not dropping door fees. I appreciate the generosity. Go ahead, X. What are your thoughts on this thing?
My thoughts is like, where are they going to put Alabama at?
Not in.
Yeah. Exactly. I think that's just
Your mic just went out.
Your mic went out.
His mic only works during the intro. Go ahead, Coach Rice. You put out. Look, let me tell you something. You tweeted out your final rankings. Boogie was long asleep by that point. But how do you think this thing shakes out?
Yeah, I fully expect Tennessee to be on the road. Don't expect the committee to do anything small. Yeah, I mean, y'all know how I feel about the committee. They're the Big Ten heavy. They're gonna represent that. The only thing I think they get right is Bama out. In the end, even though there is a case for Alabama to be in over SMU, but I just think they're not going to look at Penn State's actual resume and Texas's actual resume and put the Tennessee over them, which we fully deserve. I mean, Texas has 0 wins over a top 25 team, 0, and Penn State the same thing. Other than I take that. They got Illinois. Oh, we all fear the Illini. So I have no faith in the committee. I wish we'd go back to the BCS rankings because there is no bias or favoritism played in that. I think it's the most rigged system there is.
I think there's so much manipulation with the way they're moving. It's like they kept shifting Ohio State, Indiana, Penn State up the ladder so that when they lost, they could say, well, they were ranked number 3, they were ranked number 4, they were ranked number 5. So we're keeping them in that mix. And that's why here we sit waiting. We're 20-some minutes away from finding out where Tennessee's going to play. And we're talking about, is it going on the road to Penn State? Is it going on the road to Ohio State? Because they position them up high. You conveniently remember, we talked about this Wednesday, Coach Rice, when a couple of weeks ago, when Tennessee won, 2 teams ahead of them lost, but for some reason, Indiana jumps Tennessee, BYU jumps Tennessee. Like, there's no logic to any of this. And I know the AP poll doesn't mean a hill of beans at this point, but I find it comical that if you look at the AP poll, Tennessee didn't play, Ohio State didn't play, but from last week to this week, Ohio State jumps Tennessee in the AP poll. Somebody make that make sense. Let me catch up with you guys in Super Chats. Jeff Clabo drops a 20 spot. We appreciate that.
Rocky Top!
Says Dorothy Vol World Order. Thank you, Jeff. We appreciate you, brother. Timothy McGee for 5. FCS playoff and NFL structure is way better. Also, let the outside teams play each other. Would fix it. David Hall for 2 says GBDO. Thank you, David. Austin Stubblefield been a member for 13 months. Let's take the country by storm and win it all. GBO. Brian for 5, Dorothy, GBO, anytime, anyone, anytime, any place. I like the mindset of Coach Hype, Coach Jay. I like the mindset, but I also don't like playing on the road. Like we're talking about how even this thing is, and anybody can beat anybody, but dang it, I sure do like that first round matchup being in Neyland Stadium.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't, right? We've been pretty much everything short of impossible to beat at home, right? Like it's just been the fact of the matter, with the exception of Georgia. We're just tough at home, man. We're really, really tough at home. So if we could get that home game, it would be great. But at the same time, it's like these Big Ten teams feel beatable to me. They feel gettable. We'll see how that shakes out. We'll see how that affects our path. Coach Rice keeps up a little bit better with the whole path thing. So does that mean that Tennessee would be headed to the Rose Bowl to play Oregon if they won that game?
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay.
I got
tickets. I got tickets to that game if that does happen to happen just by happenstance. So that would be really cool. Always fun to see the Vols come to my backyard and play. Nico would be coming back home. And you see where those SoCal agencies lie in that crowd at that point. Tennessee would travel, and it'd be fun to be there. For those of you wondering, Coach Jay is 4-1. I think I want to say. Actually, you know what? They played in Anaheim once. Make that 4-1-1 in Southern California, something like that. Seeing them, but it's an interesting path. Oregon looks really good on offense. Mm-hmm. For as good as they look on offense, they look equally as bad on defense. They kind of eerily similar to that 22 team. And we were having a fun little debate on this channel the other day on who you would take, that 22 Tennessee team or this Tennessee team. And I think everyone was pretty split on it. You might get a little preview of what that would look like. I will say this. I do think Oregon's defense is still a little bit better than our 22 defense was. But, that they're gettable from the sense of if your offense is clicking and your defense can come up with some stops, you can win that game. So interesting stuff. Interesting to see how the path lies out. Obviously, I feel like we should be over Ohio State. We should be over Penn State. I think it was, I can't remember what SEC show I was watching, but they were showing they did a blind head-to-head on Tennessee and Penn State's resume. I think that was
Andy and
Ari.
Yeah, Andy and Ari. This is their projection right here that I've got on the screen now.
Okay, yeah. And it was Andy and Ari. And it was, they both have 6 wins against bowl eligible teams. Tennessee's strength of schedule is 29 compared to their 36. Their Sargon strength of schedule is 53rd compared to 54th. And then their record against those opponents within that top 30 is Tennessee's 3-1 and Penn State is 1-3. So if you just look at it blindly from a strength of schedule and record against said strength of schedule, Tennessee's kind of the clear cut leader there. And of course, that's leaving kind of Ohio State out of that conversation and that mix.
Let me hit these real quick because this is funny.
Yep.
Timothy for 5 says, quit talking about 22 different players, better defense in 24. Coach A, please keep doing that because every time you talk about 22, Timothy super chats and tells you to stop. So let's keep that bit going, and I would greatly appreciate it. Michael Davis for 5 says, to be honest, I think we would have beaten Georgia if we played them in Neyland this year. I agree. I think we could have too. Donovan for 10 says, Vols at Ohio State. Vols put Ryan Day out of his misery. I want to send Samp versus Genty later on because we know who is better. Hashtag Nico the GOAT. I'm not doing it, Donovan. It's too early in the morning. Go back to what Coach Jay just talked about, Dauber. The committee getting it right. A blind look at Tennessee and Penn State. And Tennessee has the better resume. So Tennessee should be hosting if it's Penn State. But I don't see that this committee's not going to give a blind test. They're going to say, okay, Penn State was ranked here. They lost in their championship game, so we're not dropping them below Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think there's bias and favoritism, and it's been evident since the first bracket came out in week 8. And the thing is, there's no rhyme or reason to it. I think they're allegiance to the conferences from which they have ties to are very evident. And I think we're going to be the short end of the stick in any kind of head-to-head against Penn State or an Ohio State. And they're going to try to any team has an advantage when they play at home, and I think those advantages are going to be given to that conference. So,
Dauber, what do you think is going to happen with SMU and Alabama? Who's going to get in there? Do they punish SMU for losing that close game? They said they wouldn't. What do you think?
Hey, I can answer that, Coach.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Then we'll go back to Dauber. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Go. Answer it. Go. Get yours.
Yeah. All right. So my thing is with that is they're probably going to put in Alabama because it's just the fact that they're trying to avoid like another TCU and, Georgia final. And think about it. Bama has always been the media darlings, ESPN loves them and Georgia as well. So, even though SMU, they took that loss and they have a pretty, their record is pretty good for what it is, but no, they're going to put in a slide in Alabama. I know they are.
I don't see how you can sit there and validate sliding in Alabama when South Carolina has the same record. You said you weren't going to penalize teams for losing their conference championships. Now, penalize doesn't mean dropping them in the rankings. Penalize means dropping them out of the playoff. I don't see there's any way that Alabama's getting in this thing. If they do, I think somebody might have been foul me, put it in the chat. If Alabama gets in, the entire college football world needs to put them on blast. Man, it's broken from the top down. It's broken when you look at who's getting a bye. Why in the world does Boise State deserve a bye? Why in the world does Arizona State deserve a bye? I get it. You won your conference. And if you want to allow these teams to get in, then allow these teams to get in. But don't put them in the first round bye. There's no questions asked. Top 4 teams should get that first round bye. Not just because Boise State should not get that bye.
No, they didn't think it. They didn't think it out at all when they made it. They said the most broken way to show that this system is beyond stupid, it happened the very first year it was there. So they're gonna have to go back, and the bad thing is it's not until 2026 that the contract expires and they renew the whole thing. So we gotta go through another year of this idiocracy, and I just don't understand why that NCAA, which I definitely don't expect them to do it because they're the dumbest people on the planet Earth, for them to come together in this offseason and say, we got to right this wrong. And the top 12 teams need to be in it. Yes, if you want to reward the conference, give them 12, 11, 10, 9, if they're there. But they definitely do not get the bye. They definitely don't get the top 4 seed. I mean, it's beyond stupid. And the fact that freaking Boise State and Arizona State are sitting here above Tennessee and Ohio State, who does Ohio State, I'll give them. They have a win against Penn State. They have that win.
But Trice, is it
in Texas? Go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask you: is it as simple as saying, you know, if you win your conference championship, you're automatically in, but you don't automatically get that top seed, that bye? Should we let the just straight rankings take that over?
Because just like college basketball, imagine March Madness, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to let the ETSU Bucks have a first round bye because they won their tournament." It's stupid.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Right?
Yeah, it's stupid.
And not only the first round, it breaks. Sorry, Coach. It breaks the path, right? Because now go look at the path for Notre Dame. Notre Dame has to beat. Again, this is Andy and Ari's projection, so this is not the actual rankings. They're coming out here at 12-15. Notre Dame has to beat SMU and Boise State, and they're in the semifinals. It breaks the entire tournament. It breaks the entire playoff. Look, Tennessee has the worst. If Tennessee has to go on the road to Ohio State, they have the worst possible path imaginable. You got to go on the road to Ohio State, then go play Oregon. It's broken. It's broken. So
and then
off like 3 times, Coach.
And then
favoritism.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And then I was just gonna say, and then like before this even came out, remember they were gonna slide Alabama in where Notre Dame is at with SMU. Then Alabama was have to go play Boise State. So that would have been an easy path for Alabama to try to get to the Natty. I mean, they would have
Alabama ain't getting in. It ain't happening.
No, it's not. But I'm just saying.
I hope you guys are right. I do hope you guys are right. I don't think Bama should get in. If you're not going to punish them, then you can't. You can't set that standard right out the gate. So, like I said, it's a really interesting line that has been drawn in the sand here that we find ourselves in. I'm really anxious to see if they're going to cross it, because as a lot of Vol fans, you know, as I see their comments on Twitter, in this YouTube channel, everywhere around, they're really nervous about getting Bama getting in, because we know what that A on the side of the helmet has granted them over the years. But listen, I agree that it should just be, if you win your conference, you get in, but the rankings dictate your positioning. Because at the end of the day, the Big Ten and the SEC, if you win that conference, if you're runner-up in that conference, we know you're going to be ranked in the top 6, right? Like, let's be honest with ourselves. We just know that's going to happen. So, you know, let the chips fall where they may. They definitely need to get this corrected. It's hard to even play devil's advocate against it, like you brought up with Notre Dame and SMU having the Boise route. I guess you could argue, maybe, if I'm just trying to think of a way you could play devil's advocate, is it makes it more fun for those fan bases to have a better route because they're smaller schools. But then once again, this isn't UNICEF, man. This isn't participation trophy time. You know what I'm saying? This is a tough, hard-nosed, full contact adult sport that should be based on results and ability, not on football socialism.
I think. Go ahead, Dom. Go ahead.
I was going to throw this out here. You know, you're talking about Alabama. They're 9-3. Okay, yeah, they've got I think it's 3 wins over ranked teams, but you look at their losses. 1 to a ranked Tennessee, and then 2 losses to unranked teams. You know who else is 9-3? Duke. Look at Duke's 3 losses to Georgia Tech, who is almost ranked, gave Georgia all they could handle, and then losses to ranked SMU and ranked Miami. So I would argue that Duke's losses are better than Alabama's losses.
They probably are. Has anyone seen Texas Tech's coach's rant that he went on? Has anyone else caught that? He went on a rant.
I saw something about it.
Yeah, he went on a rant, which I don't agree with, but he went on a rant where he was like, hey, look, you have a Pac-12 team that's the Big Ten champion, right? You have a Big 12 team. This was right before the conference championships. You have a Big 12 team that could win the SEC, right? And he kept drawing these things. Yeah, and he was making the point that, look, these conferences are just overrated. Any conference could beat any conference, and basically making the point that teams like Texas Tech with 4 losses, 3 losses should just have every opportunity that your South Carolinas and Ole Misses have, based on that argument that other conferences are going in. And he used the word dominating the other conferences, but for me, the whole argument was a bridge too far. Also, it's living in the past. Those aren't Pac-12 teams anymore. Those aren't Big 12 teams. Those teams were rewarded for playing well and moved up.
Well, and
I
also
think
Texas
the difference
didn't play
is
anybody.
the difference
Yeah.
is the middle of the
Yep.
pack, right? The difference, like Ohio State could play in the SEC. Some of these elite, like we're seeing Oregon, Texas, they can play in the SEC. It's the middle of the pack, right? It's the South Carolinas this year. It's the Alabamas this year. It's like, what does Alabama do to Penn State? What if Alabama played Penn State this week on a neutral site? Who's favored?
Yeah, if I were
It's gonna be pretty
Vanderbilt,
close.
if I were Vandy, I'd go to the Mountain West.
Just get that conference championship.
Just leave next year with the team you got. You'd win it.
Let me catch up with super chats real quick. We got over 1,000 people watching live. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. They're going to be announcing the picks here. I think it's at 12:15 is where the matchups come out. So we're going to take you up through it. We're going to go through it. We're going to see who Tennessee is playing. Peyton K for 5. Ohio State jumped us in the AP without either team playing a game. Wow. Just wow. Johnny Price for 2 says, Heupel says anyone, anytime, anywhere. I agree. Yeah, I like his mindset. MG Wade for 5. I got Talkin VAWLS on my TV and my phone right now. Whatever happens, we are in the playoffs. GBO. We appreciate you, MG Wade. Randall Perry for 10. I agree. Bama don't need to be in, but they do have wins over Georgia and South Carolina, both of which beat ACC champions. Matthew Watson for 5.
Fair point.
Says SEC and Big Ten merger. Other conferences are high school ball. I agree with that. Randall Perry for 20. That's an Orange Boy. We appreciate that.
Rocky Top!
The only good game was Georgia and Texas. Oregon nor Penn State impressed me at all. The fact Clemson won the ACC title with losses to Georgia and South Carolina on their schedule proves SMU don't belong in the playoff. Look, it goes back to what we talked about earlier. If you take SMU and you take Alabama and you put them on paper, Alabama belongs in. But you said you weren't going to punish teams for playing in the conference championship, so you can't take SMU out. That's where I'm coming from. And I'm about to go on a rant about Florida State,
I agree.
and Georgia,
I'm right there
and everything.
with you.
Let me catch them all, and then we'll go backwards, Coach Rice, because I know the last 2 super chats you've had thoughts on. Happen for 20. That is an Orange Boy. We appreciate the super chat.
Rocky Top!
Happen says, with this setup, Notre Dame needs to be forced to join the conference. I agree with that. Them being a one-loss team yearly almost guarantees them a home playoff game, which I predict will be better for most teams, momentum-wise, than a bye. GBO. Chase Tidwell been a member for 27 months. Neyland or on the road, just win. Louisiana Ball member for 20 months, using my milestone to check on Tony Canada. Has anyone heard from him and wins the selection? What time? It's at 12:15. Tony was in the chat Wednesday, the last time that we were live. I've not seen him this morning, though, but we don't normally stream on Sunday morning, so I'm not sure. But smash the thumbs up, guys. Share out the link, all that good stuff. Coach Rice, I know you have 17 opinions on about 3 of those super chats.
Yeah. I mean, point blank, the first super chat, the Ohio State jumping us in the AP poll, they did that. The College Football Playoff Committee literally told the AP poll voters, you need to go fix this. Go put them ahead because they makes us look stupid, which you can't fix that. So you're already stupid. But that's what they told the AP voters to go do, and the coaches poll. They go put them ahead of Tennessee. That way we could not look stupid. And then the home field for Ohio State and Penn State and Texas. I'll throw Texas in there. You go look at their resume versus Bama's even resume. I'm throwing Bama's resume over theirs. I get the bad losses, but the committee has said over and over again, they don't look at bad losses as much as they do good wins. And it's idiotic, but they're the ones that said it, not us.
Because a worse loss at the end of the season can still guarantee you a trip to the playoffs, which is crazy to me.
I think you look at Texas, you look at what they've done this year. Now everybody will say the eye test. Well, what is the eye test?
It just means my opinion. That's it.
My opinion.
Subjective. You can't say that Texas looked good last night, losing to a backup quarterback and a team that wasn't. Terrible. Yeah, they look terrible too. Like both teams looked depleted and not very good.
I don't see why
Kirby Smart come out in the post game and say, "Oh, we've been on the road all season." A word that I want to say: you've had 4 games.
Thank you, Coach Rice. Round of applause. Round of applause for Coach Rice. Appreciate you stepping up.
I know. But hey, it's unreal. You put resume to resume to resume. Tennessee should be number 4. You look at the resumes. Yes, our bad loss is Arkansas, but they've also been competing, and our only other loss is Georgia. You look at the other wins and losses: Penn State, Ohio State, Texas, Notre Dame, NIU. That's all I got to say. And then look at their strength of record, the strength of the schedule. Tennessee is far and above better, has a better resume than those 4 teams together. So I don't want to, that's the reason why this committee and all of it is just a bunch of loaded nonsense. And they're just, it's all brand favoritism, like Dauber says. And it's that. It's the only reason why we're still having the conversation that Tennessee is where they is and they're not up higher. That's the only reason.
Man, last night in that SEC championship game, when Carson Beck goes down, and why can the football gods not look down on us favorably just once? I'm going, man, when Georgia loses this game, I'm going ham on Twitter. I'm going all in that Georgia needs to be out of the college football playoff because look what you did to FSU last year. And then we were laughing in the back room because you guys know as well as I do that Kirby Smart trotted Carson Beck out there with one arm hanging limp at his side just in case they didn't get the win and they lost that game in overtime. Then he can come back and say, well, our quarterback's fine. We're good to go. Would the college football playoff committee punish Georgia if they had lost? Absolutely not.
Chicken shoot.
No.
Yeah,
Thank you,
was. Yeah, it was chicken. I won't say it, but you know what? It just was. Look, we don't have all the details out, but it just seems like a nerve injury to me, right, Coach Rice? Tendon, nerve. It's got to be a tendon or nerve. Usually, when it goes that dead and you're just lifeless like that, usually that requires surgery. On a tendon or a nerve. I hope that that's not the case. I really do. Like, it's not just hyperbole. Like, I want everyone to be at their best. I hate when injuries take people out. I think Tennessee can beat Beck without the injuries. So I hope that Beck's okay. Maybe Retro can drop his opinion on how he feels about the playoff moving forward if it is going forward without him. But to me, it looked like a nerve injury. And with that kind of injury, you don't want to trot him back on the field, especially to hand the ball off. Like, what are you doing? And furthermore, what's Texas defensive coordinator doing on that play call? What on earth was he running knowing that they have to run the ball? I mean, just as I didn't have a dog I didn't bet on the game. I didn't have anything. But I watched that.
SOBs.
Although I had a pretty nice little parlay on Oregon and Arizona State yesterday that came in for me. But
I saw your tweet.
Yeah, Arizona State came in early and then Oregon later. But nice little 2-teamer. No, but listen, when the kid's that hurt, and granted, he knows more than I do, so maybe he'll come out and it's not that bad, and it's something he's been dealing with, and it went, just numb in the game or something. But we'll see if he couldn't grip the ball. Usually that's a tendon or a nerve. Usually that needs surgery. Not all the time, but usually. We'll see how that goes.
Kirby said that at halftime. He said at halftime he couldn't grip the ball. But Kirby had no problem trotting him out there in overtime. Again, it goes back. Why did he do it? He didn't do it to win the game. He did it because he knew the College Football Playoff Committee was watching, point blank. Let me catch up with you guys. Blockhead's been a member for 17 months. We appreciate you, brother. Sports Banter for 21 months, hoping for a home playoff game, but I believe we end up going to Ohio State, which we can win at any rate we are in. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people in the chat say, would y'all stop complaining and talk about, hey, we're going to talk about the matchup once they announce it. But I don't think it's complaining. I think it's just speculating on what is happening before our eyes. Deuce for Two says, I have got to know where Coach J got that shirt.
Student Union. They had it there. They also had it at there's one of those Tennessee student store type stores off campus. I'm not smart enough to know which one.
Isn't it?
Yeah, but they have it at that one. It's by like a train track. in like a little
Alumni Hall.
shopping center. Yeah. But they
Actually,
had
I'm
it at
pretty
that
sure
one, too.
that place went out of business and that shirt's not available, but you can go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. We got brand new
Right.
merchandise. Coach Jay, you're muted. State Pride 2.0. You guys asked for a camo hoodie. We brought out the camo hoodie. You can go get that, or rivalry shirts, VWO, whatever you want. It is there. The link is in the description because Coach Jay can't remember it, but it is bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. Also, you see all these membership chats coming in. If you want to help support the channel, hit that join button down there. It's only $1. You like the videos, the content, the live stream, the community, whatever it is you like about this channel. We need you. We cannot do this without your support. Think about hitting that join button. There's also a link pinned at the top of the chat or a link in the description below. We need you. This is for the fans, by the fans. That's the last plug. Hit the thumbs up too. That would be appreciated. Jackie Pickle for 10 says, good morning, guys. Do y'all think the committee gives us the middle finger?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
I am fully
absolutely.
expected to be number 9 going on the road to either play Penn State or
Both of them.
Ohio State.
Yeah.
Either one will be on the road.
And the thing is, it's not that we don't believe in Tennessee going to win on the road.
Oh, yeah,
It's
we can.
look at the difficulty Tennessee has on the road versus home. We just know the chances of us being successful and in that environment at Neyland and what it would do for the program would be light years above, traveling on a road up north in Ohio State or Penn State when it's 10 degrees and possibly snowing. And, matchups are matchups. But the main thing we're complaining about is we want the committee to be better. That's the main thing. We want them to be better.
Be consistent and fair.
Yeah, consistent and fair.
Yeah.
And quit showing favoritism to your glorified blue bloods. That
Correct.
It's every year. And we act like some of us act like it's just been this year. This crap has been happening since the very first year of the playoff committee. Like it's every year. You look at Alabama, Ohio State, Notre Dame for some freaking reason, and a couple others, Michigan. Look at what they do for them and what their resumes are against other teams' resumes and where they put them. We're just sick of it, and that's the reason why we're talking about it so much.
Yep. This is Big Ten bias.
You know what, though? I mean, yeah, like we say it all the time, defense travels, blah, blah, blah. But I'll tell you what, I do like defense in cold weather games specifically. It can be a true ally to you. Now, we can go ahead and argue Tennessee's defense versus Ohio State's, but that defense, it's a little different in cold weather. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, when them pads in that cold weather, it hurt.
It's harder to catch. It's harder to everything in the cold weather. It just is.
It hurts, man. Somebody in the chat just said, man, Nick Saban's on TV saying exactly what you guys say. And then Smokey Payton said, Nick Saban's a crybaby. I feel like we just got backhanded complimented.
Yeah,
What's
right.
going on?
I mean,
dude, he was hilarious. What do you all think? You got Kirby Smart sitting up there. You got Steve Sarkisian, former offensive coordinator, former defensive coordinator. I felt like Nick Saban sitting in the middle between Coach Jay and Coach Rice. They're giving their BS excuses, and then Saban looks right in the camera and just calls both of them out, saying they're both full of it. Both of them are full of it. Oh, I thought it was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
I love when Sarkisian during the game last night, though, like, because the reporter lady, she was just like, so what do you need to do in the second half? He was like, they need to start calling holds on Georgia. And he just walks off.
Someone finally had the balls to say it.
I
give him credit. I mean, crap. They were holding Colin Simmons the whole first half.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, Darby just sent me a pretty cool article. This is from On3. This is what it would look like if they used the BCS formula. Yeah. Darby, where'd you get this? This is good stuff. I like this.
I like BCS.
It's On3. I mean, and that takes away the human element. That's looking at pure analytics, your strength of schedule, your wins, losses, all that. So, I mean, that would solve a lot of problems, and that's why we moved away from the old system to the BCS in '98, and then for whatever reason they scrapped that and started the playoffs and all this, and you're back to like Coach Rice just talked about your blue bloods that get favoritism, and there's bias amongst the human element of those rankings.
Yep.
But you do see there at the bottom, Alabama sneaks in.
Yeah, exactly. Alabama still gets in.
But you also see
statistically,
Clemson's not in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. So
Yeah,
so that would have been straight BCS top 12 teams in the country.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see how that played out. So who is out? Let's see. Boise State. If they kept it the way it is, you would need Boise State in there. You would need Clemson in there.
Boise's in
SMU
there
would
at
get
9.
left out. Wait.
Yeah.
Okay. So who did I miss? Clemson. So Clemson would sneak in. SMU would be out.
It's pretty much they just traded Clemson for Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. I still like the idea of the 4. All right, you guys are placing bets in the chat. We got one. Peyton K says, if we host, I'm dropping a $100 super chat. Joel says, shoot, if we host, I'll drop a $200 super chat. You guys, you can just do it just because you love the Talkin VAWLS Network. I do like the idea of guaranteeing the conference championships in. Like we said, you should allow those 4 conference championships in, and then you should take 1 through 12 of the BCS or 1 through however many you need, and just set up your bracket that way. Let the BCS computers do it, and let the chips fall where they may.
But I don't think they should get a bye.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
take away the bye.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with
I
that.
still think there should be a 16 teams and no one gets a bye.
Wait, what is this?
I'd be okay with that. I'd be all right with that.
Molly McGrath, Clemson report. Clemson hopeful for a first round bye.
They're not.
Don't they have to?
They're not going to jump. No, they're not going to jump Arizona State and Boise State.
Right. Two.
Yeah.
You got 2 guaranteed.
It's the top 4. No matter what, it don't a certain top like. If there's a particular way that either the ACC or the Big 12 could have been left out of the thing altogether, like it's if there was a 5th, say Army was ranked higher than Clemson. Army could have been put in, and Clemson could have been left out of the playoffs because they had a higher ranking at the time of one of the last playoffs, but obviously they don't. But there's no promise to whatever conferences you're in. It's the top 5, and the top 4 get the bye. The top 5 get automatically placed in.
We're about a minute away. I think they said at 12:15 is when they start the matchups. We got 1,000 people watching live. Let me challenge y'all. Are already like, Boogie, if we hit 700, can we have a free shirt? Well, we got over 700 already. We got to challenge you guys to first hit the thumbs up. We don't have very many thumbs up, and we got to fix that. Smash the thumbs up. Let's fix that easy. That's real easy. Do that. Then hit share. If we get to 1,500, y'all got to give me a 50% increase. We get to 1,500 people watching live, I'll give away a free shirt. Screw it, I'll give away 2 free shirts. We get to 1,500 people, 2 free shirts.
Like and share.
It's quick, free, and easy, right? Yeah, we got 330 likes, 330 thumbs up, and almost 1,000 people watching. Let's fix that. Here we go. What is this? Who would you rather play if we did host, or would you just not even care?
If we did host,
Penn State. It's going to be Penn State or Ohio State. Right?
If we hosted, it'd be Penn State, I would think, right?
Yeah, because that would mean Ohio State. Like I think that's the best case scenario for us is Ohio State jumps Penn State, which means we get Penn State.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't see us hosting either way, but yeah. Yep.
Dude, I really don't know what's about to happen. I don't think we're hosting either.
I don't
think
I would rather try. You know, y'all may think I'm stupid. I almost would rather travel to Ohio State than Penn State. I don't know why. I
kind of agree with you, Coach.
I think Penn State has a better home field.
All right, I'm gonna be Nick Saban. Y'all both full of it. No way. Give me Penn State.
I like Penn State's offense better than Ohio State's offense right now. I mean, I know they have Jeremiah Smith, but they Michigan exposed them a little bit.
Not only that, we have trouble with tight ends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Elite tight ends, and Penn State's got that.
Penn State's got probably the top tight end in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Backflip Spaghetti's got that confidence, boys.
And then definitely, let's say if Penn State's having a night game, hosting us at a night game.
White out.
We don't know if it's a night game yet. That they're doing the selections at 12:15, and then I think 12:45 they announce the times. It's either Friday night, Saturday at noon, Saturday at 4, or Saturday at 8.
Yeah, we're getting ready to go. I don't know who's going to be ahead of who here.
You know what they should do first is just announce the 4 teams that get the bye, and then they should
Agreed.
fill the bracket in from the bottom up.
Oh, they're fit to go to commercial.
Feels like an NFL game. Extra point.
I feel like Coach
Man
Rice is ahead
down!
of me.
Man down!
Man down, man down.
Man down.
This is all Nelson cares about.
If you're not of the mindset going into this thing, anyone, anywhere, anytime, then you're just there to have a cup of coffee anyway. So this is a highly competitive group. We'll play where we play. We'll play who we play, and let's go put the ball down.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio,
Not
Little
wrong.
Bro State. You've been watching Matt Be Great, Luke Thompson. I watched his video right before we went live. He had Tennessee hosting Penn State as well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Samuel Reiner, Custom Knives member for 31 months, straight up, top 16, no buy, no automatic bid.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the automatic bid for conference
Yeah.
champions. That's the only thing I disagree with there. Donovan for 5. FanDuel just released Ohio State -7.5 versus Tennessee. Brett Murphy ruined it. SMU in, Alabama out. He couldn't even wait. What an idiot! But that's been up for a while. Like those odds came out before the conference championships.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's that they know anything yet. Maybe they do. We'll see.
I'll tell you what, my gambling site is offering me some more money on my Tennessee to win the national championship bet. I think I put 100 on it the start of the year. They're offering me like 270 to back out of that bet right now.
Really? Wait a minute.
I'd wait till after the first game.
Yeah, I'd wait.
Well, yeah, yep.
Wait. So you put 100 on it. They're offering you 270 if you take the bet away.
Yep.
This shows who has confidence and who doesn't. Coach Rice and X are both like, roll with it, baby. I'm like, go ahead and give me my 270.
Oh, just like, hey, we still riding.
That's my
That
free
first
money.
game, because I bet it'll jump up to like 800.
Yeah, it will. It will if they win the first round.
How long do you have to do it? If we're hosting, leave that bet in. If we're going on the road, give me my 270.
Take me my money.
Mm-hmm.
Give me my money.
Give me my money, man.
Give me my money.
That's funny. I'll tell you what. I know they're not going to end up playing, but I'd take Arizona State right now over Boise, over Clemson. I think they could beat both those teams.
Dude, they looked good yesterday.
Yeah.
I sat down to watch that
Scatterboo.
game. And I turned it off within like 5 minutes. I was like, this ain't even worth watching.
I tell you what, Scatterboo can play in any conference.
He's a beast.
He's a dog. That dude,
he is a dog.
Other than Dylan Sampson and Genty, he'd be my next pick at running back.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he's got it, man. He's got the vision, power, everything. He good back.
I just they were cracking me up the other day, yesterday on game day, talking about how big his head is. Just talking about he looked like a bowling ball coming through there.
How about that 4th and 1 call they had, man?
Yeah, that was
see
ballsy.
that was
ballsy.
Yeah, that was ballsy.
It was not nice play. The way they laid it up, unbalanced. It was nice.
Yep. All right, here we go. It is go time. We're almost to 1,100. We got to get 1,500 to give away 2 free shirts. Keep schmearing. I said, keep schmearing. What that means is smash the thumbs up and share out the link both at the same time. So keep schmearing, and we would appreciate it.
12 team.
Here we go, boys.
All right, here we go.
Timothy McGee for 2. I would rather play Arizona State.
Sure, you guys are ahead of me here. They're going to fill out the conference champions.
Man, maybe they listen to Talkin VAWLS. They're tuned into Talkin VAWLS agreeing with us.
They're just showing what seeds get what.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Luke, this is the college football playoff rankings. This is what matters. The AP poll is already out, and it doesn't mean a hill of beans.
Yep.
I bet Falming loves him some Penn State players. he playing Penn State in the dynasty and fall in love with their real roster. He'll be wearing a Penn State hat. Wait, don't y'all play coming up soon, Coach Ross?
Mm-mm.
I thought you played him for some reason. I don't know why.
No,
maybe it was the college football
playoff.
playoff.
National championship.
I think it's the projection for the college football playoff bracket. Maybe Ron the Don for 2 says late door fee, shirt fee. Let's go. Appreciate
Let's
you, Ron the
go.
Don.
Mm.
Hey man, no matter what, like take a minute though, right, Vol fans? We're in the playoffs, man.
Yes.
Season goal accomplished. Breathe it
Yes.
in. Breathe it in. Good
I wanted to
stuff,
start the
man.
show talking about that, and we were just off to the races as soon as the red light came on.
Makes sense. Sounds like us, but you should, man. You should stop and smell the daisies and think about what it took to get here. You know, think about how you felt Pruitt's last season. You know, think of how you felt when Butch Jones was
When
getting
my best coach
fired.
was hired.
Yeah, think
That's
about how you
embarrassing.
felt
He just got
when
an
knew they
Dooley
extension,
was
X.
leaving.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that. Yeah.
There's Oregon. They filled in Oregon.
Every week up until now, they did it the other way around. But now this week they're starting from
Yeah.
the top.
Are they just going to
Yeah.
do the top four though?
Georgia.
Are they just
Yeah.
going 1 through? Well, you are ahead
Georgia
of me,
and
Coach.
Oregon. Yeah, I'm ahead. Oregon, Georgia.
They'll do the top
Should
four
be
and go
Boise
to
State.
commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Boise's going to come next. I'll let you know when it comes up on my screen.
Coach giving us the scoop early.
Trying.
I hate Georgia, man.
Resume comparison. Blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah.
Paul White, the big show's in the house. What's up? What's up, show? I agree, man. Like, what a heck of a season it's been across the board. Like, me preseason complaining about the college football playoff expanding would hurt college football. Boy, was I wrong.
Yeah.
It's been, but I think there's more to it than just expanding the playoff. I think it's the parity in college football has what's made this season so much more
depending
fun.
on what happens here, the committee is making a case for, well, wins and losses don't really matter depending on who you are.
Yeah.
The branding thing is such a joke.
Here we go. We're going to get our next team.
Boise, yeah.
Boise,
I also think it's stupid. What have you done lately? Like, what happens at the beginning of the year should matter too. It should matter too.
Boise State jumped up to 9 over.
Oh,
Indiana.
that is interesting. That is interesting.
Wait, jumped over who?
Indiana.
Indiana.
So, hey, this is what this is setting up. Who's playing who and trying to avoid rematches. That's very important.
Said they weren't going to avoid rematches. Said they didn't care about that.
Go ahead and tell you that.
They're speaking out of both sides.
I was going to say, I thought they said they were trying to avoid
do
them.
that.
Yeah.
I thought they were trying to avoid them.
They were always going to. Arizona State.
Yeah, I figured that would because they couldn't have jumped. Clemson couldn't have jumped them.
No,
that means Clemson will be 12 or SMU. Clemson.
No, Arizona State.
Arizona State's 12.
Sun Devils are partying, man. That's a big party school, by the way. I don't know if you guys are aware of that.
Well, no, they're 12.
They get down at Arizona State.
I'm talking about
Right.
12. I see.
Yeah. Ron the Don for 5 says, you're right, Coach Jay. We are at the dance with the last chance, girl. Let's enjoy Spike the Punch Bowl, Boogie Woogie, and let's have some fun. Enjoy this.
I guarantee you be
Is Ron the Don drinking at 12:30 on a Sunday? Ron, you down for some day drinking today, brother? Because it sounds like it.
Everyone throw in your
Appreciate
best
you,
jungle juice recipe in the chat. Let's get down.
Ron the Don says no. I bet he's grilling something good though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Isn't it fun, like Coach Jay saying, remember what we did to get here? Isn't it fun to just be like to be able to watch the college football playoff rankings be released?
And it matters to us?
Yeah, it matters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does, without a doubt.
It's
like
exciting,
if we
man.
do a bowl game and we were 10-2 and getting left out, it'd be like, all right, good season, boys. Be like Coach Fulmer, work like heck next year to get better. But man, everything is still on the line.
And most importantly, those 7th graders, those 8th graders, those freshmen, those sophomores in high school, those kids are watching this. Those kids are seeing Tennessee in the playoffs.
Clemson at 12th and ranked 16th.
Okay, so now they're going
Bye, Bama.
up.
Bye, Bama. Toodaloo.
If SMU pops up next, that's going to be the
SMU's got to be the one, right?
Yeah, that got to be next.
Dude, if they put
No,
Bama
it has
there,
to
that
be
means
Bama.
Bama's got to go through Arizona State.
There's no way because Bama would
Arizona
have to be,
State beats Bama.
Well, I don't see how Bama could be. No, they got to be out. They have to be out.
They got to be out, right?
have
If
to
they
be.
go in, that's the most egregious
We all
thing I've
raised.
ever seen.
They have
We
to be
all
out. Clemson
Well,
is
hey,
16.
they
Tejas.
only dropped Texas one spot. They only dropped Texas, so that's going to tell you what they're fixing to do with Penn State. We're going to be 9. I mean,
Yep.
no, we'll be. Hold on. Yeah, we'll be 9. We'll be the 9th seed.
I agree.
Yeah, that tells you right there, because they only dropped Texas one spot.
Yeah, from 2
The
to
next
3.
question. The next question is, do they put Ohio State in front of Penn State or not? That's the question that we're waiting on.
So Penn State was 3, Ohio State was 6. I don't see it.
I don't think
don't
they're going
see
to
it.
drop Penn State below Ohio State.
Yeah,
though.
I think we're going to Ohio State.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we are too.
Based
All right,
on
let's
what
get it.
Coach Rice just said, you're dropping Texas from 2 to 3. Of course, that game went to overtime.
Yeah, bring me the Buckeyes. I'm all right with it.
Yeah, me too. Bring me the Buckeyes. Don't send me to.
I'm
the
all right
Buckeyes.
with it either way. Let's get them, baby.
Y'all
Legends are born.
Pull this fake confidence.
Legends are born. It's not fake. I'm for it. buddy.
Oh my
I'm all right with
God!
Hold it, hold it, hold it.
They just jumped Notre Dame. They stayed in front of Notre Dame. I did not see that.
Oh.
Will we be going to Notre Dame? No, we won't be going.
What are they going to do? So Notre Dame would be next?
Notre Dame's got to be next.
They got to be next, and then Ohio State at home versus us. That's what's going to happen. Unless, because they're not going to put Ohio State there, are they?
No, surely not.
What if they did?
They
wild.
stuck to their guns, saying that means SMU's in, because
They did not penalize them
Yeah.
at all. One
No,
spot
no.
for both of them.
No.
One spot
Yeah.
for both of them.
They had a line in that. They had to make a
There's
stand.
Notre Dame.
There's Notre Dame. Okay, so we're going to Ohio State.
So they've made it obvious they are rewarding even if you go to the championship, they're not going to take you out of the playoffs. They still acknowledge that you made it to your conference championship.
I hope when they show Tennessee, they just show like Josh Heupel coughing next to a Coke bottle by himself.
Dude, did you see that
how they
interview
keep
with him
showing the
from-
teams?
What's the guy's name from ESPN? Rick, whatever. Did you see that? Dude, Heupel coughed the
Rick
entire
Bucher.
like he could
Yeah.
not sit through the interview. He coughed the entire time, and the guy's like, "Good Lord, man."
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
I'll often be like, Coach, you want a cough drop, bro?
I mean,
Yeah.
it was
All right.
rough. It was rough.
Beat the Buckeyes, man. Beat the Buckeyes.
Yeah. And we'll be 7, but seeded 9.
He just said weather advantage. Watch us go.
I'm with you though, Coach Rice. I would rather be at Ohio State than Penn State. I just would. I do agree with you.
But let's go back to this. What did we say about Georgia? I don't want to play Georgia coming off a loss when they're pissed off. Now we got Ohio State back against the wall, coming off a loss to Michigan, got embarrassed at home. Ryan Day's job is on the line.
I
It's on
think
the
Penn
line,
State's quarterback is better than Ohio State.
Yeah, I think Georgia's much better than Ohio State. I just do.
I do too. But
yeah.
I just don't like the track record of going on the road. Y'all can argue and disagree.
No, I
with
agree.
me, but
No, I'm
it's-
right.
no,
I don't
because
want
we've
to
already
go
shown. I said we struggle on the road.
You've got to get over that hump sooner or later.
You do.
You've got to grab your nuts and bite down sooner or later. It might as well be now when legends are made.
Rocky
Let's
Top
get
Tom
it.
for 5 says Coach Shea, when
There
they
we go.
announced UT, they
There
needed
we
an
go.
image of a mustard bottle and a golf ball on the field. I don't know what Tom is talking about.
Here we go. Let's
All right.
get them.
Ohio State. Let's get them.
Will they roll over and quit, or will they bite down and play for their coach? I really think
And that's another question too, is that fan base is on the fire Ryan Day bandwagon right now. If Tennessee can find a way to come out swinging, that crowd gets really nervous really fast in that environment if that happens.
Unleash the cheetah, Dylan Sampson. Unleash him.
I tell you what, it's going to be the biggest game of their careers. Jamal McCoy, Ricky Gibson. I'm looking at you. They got 2.
Yep.
super NFL wide receivers.
Yep.
This matchup, man, and I know recruiting, there's so many layers to football, but recruiting wise, Carnell Tate, that recruiting battle, David Sanders, that recruiting battle, like their fan base, I don't think they like us. And quite frankly, I don't like them either. I think they're a bunch of pricks. They're right there with Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Who won that game last time we played in the postseason, Boogie?
What was that, 1996? I think somebody put in the chat earlier.
Eddie George.
Yeah. Eddie George got whooped.
Held him to
under. Hey, you hear that? Ohio State, your best running back's crap. We whooped him.
Even though he played for my Titans, though.
X, we're not worrying about that right now, right?
I know.
Devontae Coleman for 2 says any place, anytime, any opponent. GBO. Sean Cross for 2. Alabama in. Since we are not hosting, Alabama won't get in.
There we go. Indiana playing Notre Dame.
Sam Schrock for 5. Booked my hotel to Columbus a week ago. Not afraid of Ohio State one bit, and neither are the Vols. GBO. Thank you, Sam. Appreciate the super chat, brother.
Hey, that's exactly why they did Boise State at 9. So Indiana could play Notre Dame and not play Penn State.
Who do you think wins that game, Coach?
Oh, who?
Indiana, Notre Dame.
I'm going Indiana.
I'm going Indiana.
I'm a dauber. Give me Notre Dame. I think Indiana's a fraud.
I think Notre Dame's a fraud.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true. I don't have an argument for that.
I'm sorry, Coach Jay. I mean, I know they're your boys on the Dynasty, but I think they're fraud.
Oh, I don't really like them, though. I just
Jeremiah Love, their running back, I will say, is a beast. They're running back. And I think they got a linebacker, which they always have linebackers.
Yeah,
really
they got an okay D line too.
But I think Indiana and Kurt Signetti are able to score on them enough to score on them. You see what they made the last pick. Yeah, I mean they built this. They knew what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Man, everybody, like, people are all over the place thinking that they're going to put Bama in, and if they do, then that crap you did with Texas and that crap you did with Penn State is BS. Like, it's nothing but lies if you put Alabama in right here.
Check this stat out, though, because someone brought up Dylan Gabriel a second ago.
Bye, Bama.
Bye, Bama. Bye, Bama. Bye, Felicia. Someone brought up Dylan Gabriel a minute ago. Completion percentage Dylan Gabriel's freshman year, 58.3. Sophomore year, 60. Second sophomore year, 62.7. Sophomore year, 68.6. Junior, 69.3. Current year, 73.2. Nice evolution there by Dylan Gabriel. You can really see the game slowed down for him and why it's important to get some miles under a quarterback's legs.
I really want to get on Twitter right now and see, or Facebook, watch all the
we know,
all the Bama fans just have a meltdown.
Oh,
they are.
Let's keep this shit fucking rolling. Hey, you guys had us, big brother. Good shit. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3. We don't give a damn about the whole state of Alabama. The whole state of Alabama. The whole state of Alabama. We don't give a damn about the whole state of Alabama. We're from Tennessee.
I think it's hilarious that the whole state of Tennessee is celebrating Bama not being.
Hold on, what's Nick Saban saying right now? Hold on. Nick Saban.
Let's show off
what's he saying?
Show off your emojis in the chat, guys. Show off your emojis in the chat.
Some crying Saban faces. I'm here for that.
Saban faces. Yep. We want to see them.
VFL Willie for 2 says time to invade Ohio State. #GBO. Curious to see when they I don't know what they're basing the time frame on. Again, it'll either be Friday the 20th at 8:00, Saturday at noon, 4 or 8:00. I don't know what that's based on.
Yeah, I don't know either. One quick question to the chat real quick. How much slack, how much rope does Coach DeBoer have right now at Alabama? Will he tolerate one more season where he doesn't make the playoffs?
Because, Coach, it's like I was telling a bunch of people. Listen, Nick Saban has set the standard at Alabama, just like the Lakers, Boston, all these championship teams.
Yep,
bro. If you don't give Alabama what they want in the SEC national championship, you're gone within 2 or 3 years. You're gone.
I think you last at least 3 to 4.
3 to 4.
You can't, dude. You fire a coach in 2 years, you're screwed. Like you are not going to recover from firing a coach after 2 years.
It's like Lane Kiffin leaving after year one. Like it sets you everything because especially with the transfer portal now. Because
and he's recruiting well,
yeah. And recruiting, like,
and that'll be interesting to watch over the next couple of weeks. How many Bama players hit the portal? How many Bama players opt out for whatever bowl game they're going to end up in?
I mean, listen, boys, this is starting to be the fall of Alabama. It's starting to be the fall of it. And we better enjoy it. But they ain't gonna be down for long, though.
Did you guys think that players should have been suspended in that Michigan-Ohio State game?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Don't
plant your flag on my logo and expect me to sit back and watch you do it.
Well, I kind of think the people who planted the flag should have been suspended, to be honest with you.
I think if you're going to do that, you got to have a rule in place, right? You can't just all of a sudden be like, oh, well, you planted a flag.
What happens if you throw a punch in a game, though?
I get it.
What happens if you throw a punch in a game?
Don't plant your flag on my logo, bro. I'm responding as a player, as a competitor, not as a freaking dude in a suit in a boardroom. Don't plant your flag on my logo.
But like I said, it is rival week though, because I mean, we need to talk about this. Like, how do you guys feel with it being rival week and you do that? Like, I'm sorry, like the toxic memes. Like, listen, look, plant
win the game.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah.
Well, my thing is, if you're gonna plant your flag, X, go ahead and plant it. And when I punch you in the face, you better be ready for a fight. Don't plant your flag on my logo.
But guess what? It's like you should have beat me on the field.
There are consequences for it.
Coach Jay would never jump kick someone's flag in half if they planted it on my field.
Hey, Coach Jay,
so you guys know I would never.
We come from the same walk of life.
Where's the video?
He would never. He would never jump kick someone's flag. He would never kick somebody to get a ball loose on an onside kick. He wouldn't do any of those things.
Wouldn't poke somebody's eye out.
It's a playoff game, man. We had to win. We had to win.
Bottom of the pile.
Right.
Andrew N drops a 20 spot. That's an Orange Boy. We'll play the clip if I can find it.
Rocky Top!
Appreciate you. Andrew says, let's go get Ohio State. Room is booked. Anyone else traveling? Let's put a Talkin VAWLS Orange meetup together in Columbus. I will be traveling right down here to my office to host the tailgate show and the post-game show. Make sure you guys are dialed in. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you click the bell for notifications because the schedule is going to change throughout the next couple of weeks. The week before the game, we're definitely streaming every Wednesday. Me and Coach Ross were talking about it after the show last Wednesday, early signing day. Great show. Transfer portal, recruiting. We're going to have plenty to talk about. So we're going to go live every Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Everything else will kind of shift and move. NCAA night, EA Sports College Football 25 returns this week, Tuesday night, 6:30. So make sure you guys are all dialed in, subscribed, all that stuff. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. And you're not going to miss out. We'll let you know. Mad Mopar Motorsports for 5. Where should Texas and Penn State be ranked according to strength of record? Be honest.
They, like I said, they should be below us. I mean,
they should be below us.
Their strength of record
8 and 9 or 7 and 8.
It's below. We should be 6th or 7th based off all that criteria.
Yeah,
but they're going by the eye test and the Big Ten bias and the brand, and where they were ranked before. That Boogie said it earlier. What they set it up to where even if they lost, they could place them where they need to where they can get what they want. And we've seen it. That's what happened. The only skew of the whole thing is that Miami lost to Syracuse last week. And Clemson beating SMU, because if those two things wouldn't have happened, you guarantee you Bama would be in right now.
So overall, boys, how do you think this?
Hold on, let me finish the super chats. Right top, Tom for 5. You reckon UT fans turn the shoe orange? What's the ticket situation look like? It's going to be like a road game. The allotment is actually lower than SEC road games. So it's going to be an Ohio State home game. Tennessee will travel up the night before the game, just like a regular in-season road game is what it's going to look like. Dave Morrison for 2, plant a flag on my seal. Expect a butt whooping, he said. Man, mixed feelings. I didn't have that on the bingo card for this stream, us arguing over
I'm not saying that I wouldn't go after somebody.
That's the point. Somebody in the chat said if we did that at Georgia, y'all would celebrate it. No kidding. I'll
But-
plant my flag on your
I'm
field
saying-
all day
I'm
long, but
saying
if you do it to me,
they
get
should
ready
be
for a
held
fight.
accountable for what happened. No, I think they
agree.
should have been suspended.
I agree.
Well, something has to be in place before. You can't come in after the fact and be like, well,
But what I'm saying is, if you punch somebody during a game, you're gone, and you're suspended the next game.
Well, what if he spits on me first and then I punch him?
Well, then that guy that spit on you better be.
It's always
right.
It's
We're both
always
suspended.
who retaliates. It's always the second person.
But that's
but
true.
Yeah.
I mean, that's on video. You know, I don't know.
The NCAA just has to make a decision of what they want to do, and you're going to get suspensions. The fine was pointless. The fine meant absolutely nothing to anybody involved.
Yeah.
It's chump change.
Cletus the Barber Beefcake for 5 says stage is set, and it's a great script for Nico to get his first huge win on the road and be the guy. LFG. Look, the stage is set. You go beat Ohio State on the road, then you got Oregon in the Rose Bowl. Like that's where legends are made. That's where legends are made.
Well, let's kind of paint a picture of what this matchup's going to look like. It's going to be it will be a little colder than what Tennessee's used to, but I think Penn State had a better weather, more capable environment against Tennessee than what Ohio State's going to give us. But at the same time, Ohio State leans on a run game and play action off of it to their big play wide receivers. You know, Chip Kelly is their OC. He does a lot of different things with motion, a lot of things. Our defense, our safeties and linebackers are going to be so freaking key, other than our deep Ricky Gibson, Jalen McMurray, and Jamal McCoy, as far as noticing where the tight ends and where the running backs are, because they pass it to them a lot. They're not Tyler Warren or Nicholas Singleton of Penn State, but they are. They got Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson at running back, who are both elite running backs. They have a mix up at offensive line right now. They're not very healthy. They're not very good at the offensive line. So that would be the key for Tennessee to go in at Ohio State. You got to dominate that offensive line. Got to stop the run game. Make Will Howard, who came to Ohio State thinking he was going to be this great thing, he's a game manager. They don't call him to ask him to do several tons of play. They don't ask him to go win the game. We got to stop the run game first and take away their play action. And then offensively, you better be aware of where Jack Sawyer is at all times.
You hit the nail on. Well, I think it was you, Coach Ross. Jamad McCoy, Ricky Gibson game. Put them on an island and sell out and stop the run. But on the flip side of that, how do you think our offense matches up to the number one scoring defense in the country?
It's tough. It's gonna be tough. They got Igmanosin and I'm forgetting the other corner's name, but he's an elite corner. They got Caleb Downs at safety. And they got the other safety's pretty good, and then their ends and linebackers are really good too. Their interior defensive line is not that great, but that's going to be the matchup above all matchups.
But just remember, boys, I remember in our bowl game last season that Nico Iamaleava shredded an Iowa defense. So
yeah, it's a neutral territory, so a little different, but yeah, he's gonna have to take care of the ball. You know, I think that was a big key in that Iowa game. It was taking care of the football. I believe Iowa at the time had the most interceptions or the most takeaways of a defense last year. Some of those stats. So you're gonna have to take care of the ball. Like Coach Rice was saying, Ohio State is very opportunistic. You know, we did a good job of taking care of the ball on the road in Oklahoma. I thought Oklahoma's defense played well that day, but we've got to be a little more aggressive, of course, from an offensive standpoint than we were in that Oklahoma game. Although you don't know what this defense is going to come out and do. You know, I like our defense better than Michigan's, and Michigan was able to really hold Ohio State and mitigate what they were doing. You know, can Tennessee do that? You know, can we play on our toes and not back on our heels? Can we be aggressive? Can we leave our cornerbacks on those corners? Can Will Brooks come up and make a key interception? What does that look like? How do our linebackers flow, to the running backs out of the backfield and that kind of thing? There's going to be a lot of different moving pieces to this game. I do like the way when Josh Heupel offense plays teams that aren't familiar with it or haven't seen it a couple times, it really tends to bear fruit. Which is why I think it's strong against Clemson in the bowl game, why I think it's strong against Iowa in the bowl game, why I think it was good against Purdue, scoring a lot of points in the bowl game, is when you're not seeing it and familiar with it, it stretches the defense, and it takes a while to settle in against that. So we'll see. We'll see how well Ohio State's. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think you're going to see a mixture of 11 and 12 personnel. Well, we'll see what it looks like. We'll see. We've got a couple weeks to practice. Nico's been playing really good ball over the last few games. We'll see if he can keep that going and take care of the football against Ohio State.
I think Boogie brought up a good point, though. You got Ohio State coming off a loss. You got Ohio State, whose coach is on the hot seat. You got a lot of things that could sway the game one way or the other. Is Ohio State mentally going to be up for it, or are they going to be, wallowing in, getting beat by a horrible Michigan team for the fourth year in a row? Can't get over that hump. I think I said at the beginning of the year, this Tennessee team, I think, was built different. There was something different about the way that they kind of carried themselves, the look they had in their eye, you kind of across the board. You listen to any of these guys talk in interviews, I think it is different. I think they have some goals ahead of them. I hate that they went down to Fayetteville and dropped that game.
Yeah,
but that may turn out to be a good thing, because
you live, you learn.
Showed them some stuff. They do still have some things to work on, some room to grow. I don't think you can go up to Columbus and afford a lot of penalties. And like you said, Coach Jay, you got to protect the football. Got to play a clean game. And that's I think that's the difference in going on the road versus hosting at home. Your margin of error is going to be slim. At this time of year, it is the top 12 teams. You can kind of argue that there might be one or two that could be a little better and slide in, but you're gonna have to play a good football game against whoever it is.
And coach even said it too, is that because we know that Josh Heupel struggles on the road, but you got to make a statement, man. You got to plant your foot down and just say, hey, gotta get over that hump, because if we want to go even further to win the ultimate goal, I ain't gonna say it jinxes, but we all know what we're talking about. You got to start winning road games, man. You're just gonna have to.
No, it's not just winning road games, because he goes and wins road games, but it's the big road games. And this is the biggest of his career. So I do like the fact you've got a couple weeks to game plan, script up some, your first couple of series.
December 21st, 7:00 or 8:00.
Yeah.
There's only one time zone, Coach Rice. Only one time zone. That's
I kind of, one thing that Hype does really well is game plan ahead of time. I think there's been some fair criticism about in-game adjustments from Heupel in this offense, but when you give them a lot of time to prepare, it's another reason I think the offense has been good in bowl games, is because I do think all their pre-prep scripts are really good. So it's going to come down to execution. I feel like we'll have the game plan in place, from an offensive standpoint. Boogie, is Tim Banks gonna be aggressive, or is he gonna sit on his hands like he did against Georgia? It's gonna be a really interesting theme.
You better be aggressive. Going back to what Coach Rice said, this is a Ricky Gibson, Jamal McCoy game. Put them on an island, get aggressive, get after the quarterback, stop the run. Like what? I don't think this Tim Banks defense is ever successful when they're not aggressive. I think it is built to be aggressive, and that's why when he first got brought here, it was all about I need the Jimmies and the Joes before I can start doing what I really want to do on defense. Just quick scheduling wise, because we are playing on Saturday, Coach Jay, are you good for the Friday? Let's do the Friday morning show. Friday morning. What do we do? 10 a.m. on the 20th. So we'll definitely plan on doing that the week of the game. Well, let me catch up with you guys in Super Chats. Chandler Matthews for 20 says, wait, I'll play the clip.
Rocky Top!
But then I'll play another clip because he says,
To be the man, you got to beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here.
he says, let's get the tough games out of the way while we are healthy. I'm not sad. Let's go take care of business. Go freaking Vols. Well, here's the story. Every game from now on out is a tough game. Every game is going to be a tough game. The soft teams, the weak teams are going to get weeded out. And look, you got to beat Ohio State on the road. Then you got to go play the best team in the country, Oregon. So every game from here on out is going to be tough. Caleb Lewis for 5, excited about the playoffs. Looks like Texas has the clearest path, but who knows? GBO, it's been a crazy year of football. Joseph Daly becomes a member of the channel. Shout out, Joseph. Appreciate you, brother. Will Murley for 2 says we're in, but I would love Penn State and Boise State. Joseph Daly for 5 says Tennessee is a tough matchup for anyone. Tennessee has one of the best ground games in the country and has a stout defense. Joe Brown for 5. Do you think Hype saw this coming and already started prepping for Ohio State and Oregon? I would say he was probably prepping for several teams that he thought they could end up facing in this thing. Jonathan's been a member for almost a year. If we go out and execute and beat Ohio State on the road, it will give us the momentum we need to play Oregon at a neutral site, 35-32 with Max with the game winner. That's a heart attack and a making right there. Backflip spaghetti for 20. That's an orange boy. We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top!
I was wrong, but don't hold it against me. Remember 2022 LSU game. Let's use every ticket available and show out in Columbus. Ball fan 25 has been a member for almost a year. Tennessee is not done yet. GBO, Banks, and Hype get it done. Knoxville Buckeye. Oh, I bet that's some conflict there.
Rocky Top!
Knoxville Buckeye for 20 says, after living here for 17 years and becoming a Vol over that time, I have to support my alma mater. But no matter what happens, at least I can support and root for the winner of this game. One last GBO till after the game. Thank you, Knoxville Buckeye. Appreciate the super chat. You guys got any final words on the playoff rankings? We know who the opponent is. We know when and where to be there. Final thoughts?
I just want to say, letter grade. How do you think this committee did?
I thought they did better than I was going to give them credit to. I mean, I thought the whole time we were going to end up, traveling just based off of recent. But I love that they did not punish the conference championship teams that lost. And then I love that they kept Bama out. Mainly because they did not punish Texas and Penn State.
Yeah.
That if they would drop them 5 or 6, they would have had to done it to SMU too, and then that Bama would have got in. But since they stayed consistent, I do appreciate that. They still haven't won me over, but
They got to change some things that
C plus B minus.
They were set ahead of time, right? Like get the first round bye and all that crap. But you can't. There's nothing you could do committee wise on that. That's just the rules that they had put in place.
Yeah. So like Coach Jay just said, like I said, I give them maybe B minus. So
yeah, my final thoughts are: work hard, be relentless in practice, take every rep seriously. Play your tail off, put your blood, your sweat, your tears in it. Quick's a step, sharp's the word over the next couple weeks. Let's be prepared. Let's have that eye of the tiger when we come walking out of that tunnel, and let's take care of business.
I think it goes back to what Dauber said earlier, though. It's that this team has had that mindset all year. Going back to the preseason, how many times did we say in the preseason throughout the first few weeks, Josh Heupel had a different look in his eye from jump? I think this team knew they were good. I think they knew they were special. I think they knew they had a really good defense, and I don't think the offense has been what they thought it could be, but maybe now is when they put it together. Do I think they will? No, I think we're going to go play good defense. We're going to run the football. We're going to be penalized, and we're going to have a shot to beat Ohio State. That's what it's going to look like. I'm done pretending it's going to be something different.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I think we've been waiting for this team to evolve into something that I don't know that they are right now. They have every potential to be that. They've shown flashes of that at times, but it's the consistency factor. And you know, we've said it, particularly the last couple of weeks, or, you know, the last 3 or 4 games, they cannot consistently put 60 minutes of football together. That's clean and elite. If they can do that, hell, they can play with any team in the bracket. They can play with. This offense is clicking. I think Nico is kind of settling in and finding a little bit of his groove. You're seeing that, and this defense is elite. And defense does travel. Let's hope it does. And I think, you know, there is potential to go up to Ohio State and lay it to them, and that sets you up with good momentum going out to the Rose Bowl. But I think my final thoughts: soak it in. You know, don't take this for granted. Don't take this for granted, because it can flip in a heartbeat. And you know, we've been on the outside looking in, been the bridesmaid so many times. Enjoy where we're at. We're back in the relevancy. We're back in the conversation. Now let's go get it done.
Yes.
So
Coach
they
Ross,
announced.
Did you just pull out a briefcase with a pen and a pad and all your notes on Ohio State? That's what I thought. I thought you got out the secret game plan for Ohio State and started jotting things down.
I was, pretty much.
So they announced Gary Danielson's going to be calling the game. I'm just messing with you guys.
Don't
I think that is the way to send us out the door. Hey, this is a fun one, man. I put up the bat signal. I asked the boys if they wanted to jump on and take a look at the college football playoff rankings as they came out. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. Videos coming all week long. Transfer portal is heating up. We'll continue to cover that. Got my eye on a couple of targets out there that I want to talk about probably tomorrow morning in a video. I'll be live Tuesday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, playing EA Sports College Football, hopefully against you guys in the chat. If not, we'll play Dynasty Mode, have a good time there. Wednesday night, 7 p.m., Talkin VAWLS live. We'll unpack all this stuff, maybe talk a little Ohio State, talk about the transfer portal up to now. Are there impacts? We don't have Jalen Smith going into this game. What does that mean for the 2 deep at the linebacker position? We'll have it all right here, breaking it down for you. But that is going to do it for this one. For Coach Jay, for Dauber, for the X Factor, for Coach Rice, my name's Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. Go Big Orange.
That we charge.